Hello, Pod Fam, and hello, Rachel. How are you today?
I am good, Laura, though I am absolutely freezing. How are you?
I'm also freezing. We're getting some
Great.
crazy weather right now, and
Yeah,
she is chilly out.
I know. See, I remember in childhood having like the January thaw after
Mhm.
Christmas. I feel like the thaw happened over Christmas and now it's like feels like mid-February.
Exactly. It seems to have flipped around now.
I know. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. It wasn't too cold today, but it's just really windy right now and it's like a blizzard outside and I'm like, "You know what? I don't want this. I'm done."
Yep. Ready for the
Yep.
hot weather.
Yeah, it was nice while it lasted. We had that one nice day a few days ago where it was like fluffy snow and it was so pretty and now I'm like, "Okay,
I
go
know.
away.
It was
I'm over it."
sunny, nice
I know.
snow, not too cold. And to add on top of this, we are also back in lockdown. So things
Let's
are shut
not
down.
let's not talk about it. We're not officially in lockdown. We're in modified stage 2, which in winter time basically feels like lockdown.
Exactly. Well, they have closed the gyms again, which is kinda sad because, like,
Mhm.
as our listeners know, we were just kinda getting back out there and
Yeah.
and doing some stuff. So, I got an email from my gym the other day, and, they're, like, pausing the payments, but until they're open again, we can use, like, their virtual classes for free. So,
That's
I tried my
nice.
first one out tonight.
How was that?
It was good. So, I think it was called muscle conditioning, and it was, like, an hour long.
Yep.
Which is a little bit longer than what I like to work out for. I'm much better with, like, the intense 20 to 30-minute
Mhm.
workouts.
Mhm.
This one, I'm pretty sure I was, like, the only person, like, under 70. Um
I love it. I love it so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, and, I tried to get a little bit creative with, like, my resistance bands just to make some of the moves a little bit harder
Mhm.
because, it was very, like, calisthenic, which was
Okay.
nice. And
Okay.
I just tried to make it, like, as challenging as I could with, like, the equipment that I had. So it was good, like, I didn't break a sweat. I wasn't really out of breath
Yeah.
at all, but it kinda felt like the equivalent of going for, like, a half-hour walk.
Okay.
You know, I felt like my body had moved, and then, like, we had some stretching at the end, which was nice. So, I'm trying another class tomorrow. I mean, might as well take advantage of this while I can, and it does,
Mhm.
like, just get me moving at the end of the day after I've been sitting for 8 hours.
Mhm.
So, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Good. So I guess your unintentional monthly challenge is trying out a bunch of virtual classes.
Yes, there's about 4 that work with my time frame of when they happen, and I have a one complaint because I feel
Okay.
like this happens with every single class at every gym, is that they
Mhm.
put the bar classes at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my god, I know. I've wanted to go to a bar class forever.
Right? And it's always at 9 a.m., and I'm just like, "Hey, like, us normal people, we have to go to work."
Mhm.
And, you know, I would love to do bar classes because I have done, like, a couple in the past,
Mhm.
and they never work with my schedule because I'm always at work. So, like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to, like, play the video, stand at my desk, and, like, maybe do some pliés or something. I don't know. I'll get creative.
I mean, you can always do that dancer workout with Blogilates that she did with Julianne Hough. Love that one.
Oh, that one is fun. Yeah, if anyone is, like,
Yeah.
also in lockdown like us or their gyms are closed, definitely check out, Cassie Ho at Blogilates. I've been a long time subscriber of hers, and I really do enjoy her workouts. They're quick and they're fun.
Mhm.
And, yeah, can't recommend them enough, and they're free, which is, like, super important.
Exactly. Well, your objective of trying out one new thing every month for fitness inspired me.
Oh, good.
And one of my, I mean, we were talking about it a bit in our first episode back for season 2 about how, our goals were probably like a bit more vague this year because we want to
Yes.
continue. We want to continue. But this one was a bit more specific, one of my more specific ones. So I decided that I want to read one book every month and try out a new fitness activity
Mhm.
every month.
Yes.
So you've inspired me. I got my library card today, as you recommended.
I'm so proud. I'm gonna have you reading Regency books in no time.
Oh, yeah. I'm starting kinda, like, doing some I think it's, like, the '70s era I'm reading
Mhm.
right now, but I do think I'm gonna put some Bridgerton on hold this evening if I can't find it, and, yeah, other than that, my routine of choice for this month is I'm doing Yoga with Adrienne's 30-day yoga challenge, which I do I mean, I've only been doing it for like 2 years, but, moving forward, I'm gonna do it every January, and I just love it. It's so good. She does such a good job teaching, and I've been trying skipping. I bought
Oh,
myself a
fun.
skipping rope.
Skipping is
Yeah.
hard because when I was doing the kickboxing, skipping was, like, the first thing to kinda get your blood moving and your heart rate up,
Mhm.
and it's tricky to keep going, like, for a
It
long period of
is.
time.
It is, and, like, the amount of mental focus, like, you can't think about anything else.
Mm-mm.
Feels like meditating almost, but, um, it was probably because of the fact that yesterday I decided to do it without shoes on. Today I wore shoes, but my calf muscles, Laura,
They burn.
my I can't walk.
Oh,
Like,
no.
I am literally, like, limping around my house this evening because it just worked them so hard. Because 'cause you're kind of on your tippy toes the
Yes.
whole time, like, you kinda have to be to keep the momentum going, and, oh my god, I can only do, I do, like, 5 minutes on, about a minute off, and then 5 minutes on again, so it's, like, a total of 10 minutes. I don't think I could go more than that right now.
No, that's a long time because even with the kickboxing warm up, the each circuit was only 3 minutes long, and, like, after 2 minutes, you were like, "Okay, I'd like to be done now."
Yep. Yeah, so, I don't know. I think it is good, though, for kind of getting you into a meditative state because I find that I, like, meditate more when I'm moving.
Yes.
I'm not really a sit down meditate person, like, I can do that, but, about 15 minutes in, I'm like, "Alright, I got other things to do."
Exactly. Well, I'm glad you're
Exactly.
trying something new.
Yeah, yeah, so we can be library buddies now.
Yay, yay, we can suggest books to each other, so this will be fun. It's one step closer to our book club that we're eventually gonna have.
I know. I've never truly appreciated a library before until I was on, like, the Libby app, and I was scrolling through, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is
So
so
many
fun."
choices.
So many choices, and they're all free.
Yes, that is the main thing. Never underestimate the power of the library.
No, 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 no. See? That's something that they would have said in Harry that's Hermione, she would have said that.
Yeah. I
Yep.
was thinking the episode of Arthur when they're
Oh, yeah.
singing about having a library card.
True,
It's
true.
good it's a good episode.
I, like, came home all excited with my library card, and I was to my boyfriend, I was like, "You need to come with me tomorrow, we'll go get you a library card too." And he was, like, very hesitant about it, and he's like, "Oh, maybe, next month or whatever," because he thought that the library costs money.
What?
Apparently, his library in the city that he went to school in would charge you.
Well, that doesn't make sense because the
I
taxpayers pay
know.
for the library.
I know. I was like, "Oh, I don't know what library you were at, but that is not it. It's
Maybe
not
he
it."
had, like, a book that he never returned, and that's why it cost him money.
He was getting charged interest.
Probably.
I don't know, I'll have to get to the bottom of that one because I was just like, "Were you living in an alternate reality
Yeah, I've
beforehand?"
never heard of that before. He must have had a late charge.
Must have, or maybe it was like a school library, I don't know, it sounds like something a school would do.
Yeah, just out of spite. Sounds very
Yeah,
much like it.
yeah.
Anyway, we're trying new things because it's a new year, and our
Yes.
topic tonight is very much something that our listeners might be trying to do for a New Year's resolution. So we
Mhm.
felt that it would be a good time to talk about it because we actually started this back in November 23rd, I think.
I think that I think that was the date, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, before we get too far, what are you
Mhm.
drinking tonight?
I have my maple cinnamon waffles tea again today. I haven't had it for a few episodes now and still just as good as the first time.
Excellent. Well, I'm also having a dessert tea tonight, and I'm having a
Beautiful.
cinnamon bun.
Wow, we're so in alignment. I love it.
Yeah, excellent. Yes, we don't have a sweet things in the house anymore, and just, like,
Yeah.
after the holidays, we had a lot of sweet things, so I feel like I need, like, a gradual, um,
Mhm.
weaning off
Off the sweet.
chocolate and cookies and everything else.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm going with a sweet tea this evening.
yeah. We gotta put a new tea order in soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be our next thing that we do.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, back to the episode. We are bringing it back to discuss the social media detox that we embarked on November 23rd.
Yeah, so we are well over a month now, and I
Yep.
think the original plan was just to do a month, but December 23rd came and went, and I honestly forgot to
Mhm.
put, like, Instagram or anything back on my phone.
Yeah, that's about the same for me. Maybe starting on like the 3rd of January, I've like picked it up once a day, but like
Mhm.
haven't been scrolling, haven't even like checked any of the messages that have accumulated, and I don't really feel like I want to.
That's fantastic because I feel like that was the
Yeah.
main thing for us because we both talked about
Yeah.
it, um, we're definitely not alone in this, where you get on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and you just
Mhm.
start scrolling and scrolling and mindlessly scrolling, and you don't even know what you're consuming, yet your
Mhm.
brain is just like, "Oh, dopamine, dopamine, dopamine,"
Yeah.
and it really is that distraction, and then you look up the clock, and it's been, like, 3 hours,
Yeah.
and you're still sitting there. So for a long time, we had the little time warning in place, but that was just all
I
too
just
easy to
ignored it.
dismiss. Oh, like, you dismiss it for 15 minutes or dismiss it for the whole day. We had to go to the next level and actually, like, take this stuff off our phones, so we
Mhm.
actually couldn't look at it.
Yep. And I think for both of us, just genuinely the scrolling was the core reason why we decided to take a break. I feel like there was like some subconscious stuff when it came to comparison that I feel like everybody falls victim to
Mhm.
in this day and age, but definitely like it was just because of the fact that we got to a point where we would open up our phone and open up Instagram for no reason. Like we would be at work just opening it up in the middle of a task. Like I would open it up in the middle of writing an email.
I know, and it's like you can't even control yourself because you don't even know
Mhm.
that you're doing it. It's
Mhm.
such a bad habit.
You know when you get the screen time report?
Yes.
It was a really bad day when I looked at it and my screen time was 5 hours
Yeah, per day, and it's just
per
like, "Your
day.
screen time is up 100% from last week." It's like,
Yep.
"Thanks."
Yeah, and it's just I don't know, it's such a time suck, and even, like, looking at it now, because part of I think why we get caught in that trap of like, "Oh, well, I need to have the Instagram," is because people message you on it. But a lot of
Yeah.
the time, they're just sending memes, and I kind of am at the stage now where I'm like, I love communicating that way sometimes, but it would also be nice if we had a conversation.
Yeah, because, how many words can you really say through just memes?
Oh, well, usually people don't, they just send the meme.
Yeah, yeah, they send the meme, you like the meme, you send them one back, and the cycle continues. Like, there's
Yes,
no
and then
actual engagement going on there.
yeah, and then you're like, "I have friends."
But do you?
But do you? You're just like, What's going on in my friend's life?" I couldn't actually tell you.
Yeah, that
So
was definitely a thing for me. I mean, you were really the only person and a few others that would send me memes because, like, I guess I, like, just don't have friends.
mhm. Fair I
Um,
mean, same. Same,
right?
same.
And, so that was kind of hard because that was also just entertainment
Mhm.
for me because I would just, go through the Instagram search page and be like, "Oh, so and so would like this. Oh, so and so would like that."
Yes.
But that was just, like, it, like, there was nothing else to it.
Mhm.
So, that was definitely a reason for me. But my big time waster, I'm gonna call it, would definitely be on Instagram's the Reels, right? The short videos?
Yes.
The Reels?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
the
so, like,
reels.
the Reels and then the TikTok videos and even on YouTube, the YouTube Shorts,
Mhm.
those were my downfall because
Mhm.
it's like, you just look at one, and then the next
Yeah.
one pops up, and the next one, and that is where I would spend hours and hours just watching all this stuff, and I actually did notice that my attention span for content was going down the more
Yeah.
videos I watched.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
it got even so bad where I think on some reels, like, you can have them a minute long or maybe a
Mhm.
minute and a half, and I couldn't even watch a full minute of
Oh boy.
something. It would
Oh
be, like,
boy.
15 to 30 seconds next, and I was just like, "Oh, that's, like, really unhealthy," because it's nice to be able to sit and enjoy something
Yeah.
and actually pay attention to it and understand it, and not
Mhm.
just be like, "Oh, 15 seconds, bored." So that was my main reason for really needing to get off social media,
Mhm.
but let's discuss some other reasons that maybe some of our listeners might want to get off social media for a while, and I think the big one is, the influencers and the comparison and feeling like you need to put this image out into the world
Mhm.
of someone who maybe isn't real,
Yeah.
and possibly from the content that you're consuming, you know, it's bringing your own self-esteem down, your own confidence down because you don't look like that Instagram model who is, like, teeny tiny with the great ass and the six-pack abs and that whole, like, perfect skin, perfect hair, great tan.
Because of really great angles.
Yeah, it's angles, and then even, like, filters are fucking scary
Oh,
these days.
don't get me
I know
started.
I know we've done an episode, so if people wanna hear us, like, talk about filters, a few episodes back, we actually did a whole social media episode pretty much just on filters.
Yep.
Um, so it's this augmented reality that isn't real, and I
Mhm.
feel like that's a vicious cycle for people,
Mhm.
and if you can recognize that maybe you're falling for this trap, it might be a good decision for you to step away for a little
Mhm.
bit and just, reintroduce yourself to reality.
Yep. And another good one, which I can speak to, is heightened anxiety because of the fact that, like you were referencing, where you sit down with a reel and you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I don't know if you ever did this, but you would watch a movie, but you would be scrolling at the same time.
Yes. Oh, I yeah, you can be
Yeah.
so bad for that because I remember a few years ago, we were, like, watching a movie, and remember
Hmm.
I took your phone away because you were,
Yeah.
like, Snapchatting or Instagramming someone, and I was like, "Rachel, you need to watch this movie."
I know. I know. And I find that that's a big, like, I more have gotten heightened anxiety with social media because of the fact that I'm overwhelmed and overstimulated.
Mhm.
So it's like the second you wake up, it's not like you're easing into your day, like you start scrolling through reels. I was really, really bad for that. Like it would be the
Same.
first thing I would do in the morning.
And the last thing you do probably, right?
Exactly. Or like, you're listening to a podcast and you're scrolling through memes.
Mhm.
Or you're at work and you are having a really busy day and you're like, "Oh, I need a break." So you escape to social media, but which is more overwhelming than your workday.
Yeah, and it's like your whole lunch break is just you sitting on your phone scrolling. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even paying attention to the meal that you're eating.
Yeah, and I think it's a definitely a very common problem is social media having an impact on your mental health, especially
Mhm.
with anxiety and depression. We're going to focus on anxiety right now, where yeah, like I just found that I feel a lot more at peace without it. Like I don't feel as burnt out because I don't feel like I'm on this never ending hamster wheel where my brain has to work at speeds that it literally did not evolve to do.
Yeah, like, are as much as people want to say that they're good at multitasking,
We're
humans
not.
themselves are not very good at multitasking.
No, not at
No.
all.
No.
No. Like we are not built to take in that much information from that many people at one time. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
very
kind of
true.
insane. It's kind of insane. Well, even like, when you fall into the comment rabbit hole,
Oh, yes.
like you're reading, depending on what post you're looking at, could be an influencer's post, you are reading the opinions of like hundreds of thousands of people.
Mhm.
That's kind of nuts. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
that wow, that's a really good way to put that in perspective. So you have all these
Yeah.
different opinions,
Mhm.
and some of them are positive, some are negative, some you agree with, others you don't.
Mhm.
And yeah, that can cause, like, a lot of confusion for your brain.
Yep. So, that's another a really good other reason is that if you feel like your anxiety is heightened and you can't really explain why, or even you just want to reduce elements in your life that can increase your anxiety, it might be a good time to take a break as well.
Yeah, that's definitely very key, and I find a lot of the time, you were talking about waking up and Instagram would be the first thing that you would start scrolling on.
Mhm.
But how many times have you been laying in bed and, you accidentally stayed up for an additional, like, hour and a half
Mhm.
scrolling, and then, like, your mind is so wired that you can't go to sleep?
Yeah. Or when you like wake up in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. and you pick up your phone to check the time and
Oh,
you open
yes.
Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're scrolling there for
Yeah.
45 minutes, and you're like, "I should be asleep, but now I'm awake."
Yep. But we are now at probably a month and a half since we
Mhm.
started this detox. And I'd like to ask you, how has it been? Have you noticed any struggles, any benefits? How are you feeling, my friend?
Um, so I'll start with the benefits. I definitely don't spend as much time on my phone, and my mission kinda was to make my phone boring,
Mhm.
so I wouldn't have to feel like I needed to be on it all the time because, like, obviously, like, we were kinda born in the generation that did not have cell phones until we were, like, teenagers,
Yep.
and I'm just trying to go back to that a
Yep.
little bit more, you know? I don't need to carry my phone everywhere around the house, it's
Yeah.
okay if it just stays plugged in upstairs and I'm downstairs,
Mhm.
Like, most of the time, no one needs to get a hold of me that bad,
Mhm.
and usually, if it does need to be, like, attached to me, I'm just finding an excuse to be on it.
Mhm.
So, without the social media, I definitely, I don't wake up and just scroll anymore.
Mhm.
I have been pretty good, especially over the holiday where if I'm sitting on my phone, like, I'll open up a book because
Yep.
I did say that in the episode that we were announcing we were doing this detox, that that was gonna be my goal, and I
Mhm.
actually read, like, 3 books over the holiday.
I love that.
Yeah, so that was really
Nice
great.
work.
Yeah, thank you, that was really great for me.
Mhm.
My one thing that I find I do kinda scroll on in the morning will be the news,
Okay.
but because of Apple News Plus, I can't read half the articles.
True.
So that's, like,
True.
secretly beneficial, and I refuse to pay for it.
Mhm.
Um, so that's been good. One thing I have noticed that I think I need to take off my phone is Reddit, because I was on there for a different purpose, and now I'm kinda finding myself scrolling a little
Mhm.
bit, like, through the news sections,
Mhm.
and I'm starting to spend a little bit more time than I would like to, so I think that one's gotta go now.
We just gotta bring it out once every few weeks for the podcast.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to do, like, I even took the, bookmark shortcuts off my laptop for
Mhm.
Instagram and Facebook, and I made everything so I had to work to go on
Yeah.
those websites, and this whole time, like, I never even wanted to go on Facebook, and I'm really not a big Facebook person to begin with
Mhm.
anymore, so it's nice to have it, like, not in front of me
Mhm.
all the time. So,
True.
those were my benefits. What were your benefits?
Mine was definitely I feel a lot calmer. At the same time as doing the detox, I was also adding in some more like stress relieving supplements and also some B12 because of the vegetarian diet that I'm currently on.
Mhm.
And I find like I'm a lot more peaceful. Like
Oh,
I
that's
don't
good.
feel as high strung, which is good. And then I also feel more present. Over
Yes.
the holiday, I was finding like, I had no reason to pick up my phone really because anyone that I would talk to in that moment was either at Christmas or New Year's with me or doing Christmas and New Year's with their own family, you
Yeah.
know? So there was nothing for me to do on the phone. And I like remember coming home from New Year's Eve from my parents' house, and, like, we had played Pictionary with, like, my parents and then, like, a couple friend that they have that they've known forever and stuff, and I was just like I had this thought where I was like, "Wow, this is, like, one of the first holidays that I can remember where I left my phone in the other room and didn't think about it once."
Oh, that's so great.
I was fully engaged in what was happening in front of me, and it was just such a nice feeling to, like, feel involved
Mhm,
and not like half my brain was somewhere else. So, I've definitely been enjoying that, and I've also enjoyed how it's kind of forced me to be more conscious with how I communicate with people
mhm.
because, like we said earlier with the memes, you just send one and then you're like, "I did my communication with my friend for the day." Where now, like, I'm starting to realize, as I have to, consciously type out a message and communicate with people, is the fact that, like, I'm putting more thought into what I'm saying, and I'm like, "Do I really have anything valuable to add to this person's time today?" And if not, I'm like, "Okay, I'll text them another day." And I don't know, I've never been like that before, and I feel like it's an interesting development.
I think that's all really great, and one
Yeah.
thing, have you noticed how many people do spend so much time on their phones when you're the person, like, not on your phone?
Yes. And I've also noticed how mindless it is, where it's like it's almost like a tick.
Yeah.
It's like it's just send meme,
Mhm.
and, like, it just all blurs into one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun when you, see the same meme sent 2 weeks apart from the
Mhm.
same person, and you're like, "Yep, relatable. I probably would have done that too."
Yes, exactly. So that's kind of a perfect segue into what's hard about going off social media,
Mhm.
and definitely getting over that urge to check your phone is the hardest for the first, like, even week.
Yes.
Because every time you pick up your phone, you're expecting, like, Instagram or TikTok to be there, and it's not,
Mhm.
and it's almost like this little bit of shock of, like, "Oh my god, what am I supposed to do?" And it's hard just to sit with yourself, and,
Yep.
I think as humans, like, we've really lost that art and patience
Mhm.
to just be able to sit and be bored and be okay with being bored, right?
Mhm.
Like, we just have this need to be entertained every second of every day, and that's really not what life is always going to be.
Yeah, we're really not supposed to be stimulated every second of every single day. Like,
No, no, we're not built that way,
no.
and that's definitely really hard to overcome, but you get used to it.
Yeah, I have definitely noticed that as well, and let me tell you, for the first 2 weeks, I would, like, get home, and that period of time that I would fill with Instagram or, like, whichever social media device that I wanted to pick up, was, like, sitting there like I was lost in a grocery store and couldn't find my mom. It was just blank stare.
Yeah, it's weird because you want to unwind, and so
Yeah.
many of us use social media as that unwinding because it is
Mhm.
something mindless in a
Mhm.
sense, so we feel like we're relaxing even though, like, we're not
Yeah.
on, like, a mental level. So it
Mhm.
is hard, like, you get home from work and you're like, "I don't wanna do anything," and you're like, "Oh, doing nothing. This is hard. This is really hard."
Yeah, even though it's like especially on social media where it's like, "I wanna do nothing," is, like, something that goes around of something people like to do when they wanna have alone time, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "But are you actually doing nothing, or are you scrolling?"
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
scrolling and actually doing nothing are 2 very different experiences.
Yes. Yes, and it's all about being in good company for yourself.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that is the big lesson that I think we've both learned through this experience, and, one thing that I have struggled with is a bit of FOMO, like fear of missing
Yeah.
out, and it's only when people are talking about something that they've seen posted, like,
Mhm.
I'll be hanging out with someone and they'll say like, "Oh, did you see, like, so and so did this?" And I'll be like, "No.
I
No, I didn't."
didn't.
So it's kinda hard, like, it makes it very tempting, um, because
Mhm.
even though it's stuff that, like, and we talked about this before where, like, most of the content that you're consuming is from strangers and influencers, and you don't really pay attention to, like, people you actually know, because, like, we're just drawn to curated content, like, it's just natural. So even though maybe I saw what so and so was doing before,
Mhm,
until, like, someone tells me about it and I can't see it myself, I'm just like, "Oh, like, am I missing out on things? Like, is the world going by without me and, like, I don't know about it?" So I had, like, one of those moments on the
mhm.
weekend, and then I had a second moment where I captured this really cute video of my horse and the barn cat cuddling.
Oh,
It
that
was
picture was
adorable.
so cute.
It was so cute. And I was just like, "I wanna share this to Instagram or in Facebook," and I'm just like, "Oh, I don't use those anymore." And so I
Yeah,
actually had to sit there and think, and I was just like, "Who would appreciate seeing this?" And so I sent it to, like, all of 4 people,
yep.
and they really did appreciate it. So I'm just like, "You know what? That's good. We had a conversation about that video,
Mhm,
and, those were the people I wanted to share it with."
mhm.
So that was good, but, like, it's definitely hard because like, I really don't post much very often, like,
Ever.
I'm like a once a year poster, if that, and I kinda had to remind myself, I'm just like, "Okay, no one's missing your content, Laura, because you never
Yeah,
post anything anyway." So that's where, like, I was just like, "You know what? I'm gonna connect with just a few people on a more personal level," and sure enough, like, all those people I sent the video to, we had a nice little conversation, so that was good, but, like, have you experienced any FOMO?
uh, I just wanted to kinda laugh at us for a second about,
Okay.
like we were very voyeuristic with our use of Instagram. It's we would post nothing
We
ever.
post nothing. We don't contribute.
We contribute absolutely nothing. We don't even like our friends' posts.
I know, I'm, like, the worst person because 'cause I'll, like, scroll and, like, I have to be super impressed to like it, like, I'm so
I know.
bad.
I know, but then it's like you go onto a reel of a random stranger, like, I still to this day, one of my favorite videos is of the kid who drank, a can of sparkling water all at once and, like, smack I don't y I'll have to if we ever go on Instagram again, I'll have to send it to you because it was hilarious. Um, but the one sense of FOMO I've been having is I am truly worried about missing an announcement from Taylor Swift. That's
Yes,
about it.
that is one thing, and, that's kinda why I've been on Reddit a
Yeah.
bit. I just need to make Reddit hard again where I actually have to, like, go on my laptop and, like, go to the website instead of just opening up the app on my phone.
Yeah.
Um, yes, I'm also very concerned about that.
Yeah. See, what I had been doing was, because we follow her on our podcast Instagram,
Mhm.
I would just look on there,
Yes,
just, there
just in case.
I there it's just you go, look at Taylor Swift, leave.
Yeah, we don't wanna miss a tour announcement or, like, anything, so
No, could you imagine if we did? I would be so upset. I'd be
yeah,
so
so
upset.
so if Taylor posts
So,
anything, you just have to, like, tell me, and then just so I know what it
yeah.
is, just so I can stay up to date.
Yeah. So I feel like, I haven't experienced that much FOMO other than that, which I don't know if that's embarrassing or not. But I think, because maybe I'm not, are in, like, groups as often anymore of,
Mhm.
like, interconnected people, so I don't hear about, like, "Oh, so and so did this, did you see that?" anymore.
True.
So that, kind of pulse of, "Oh, I should have known about this," it doesn't hit me very
Mhm.
often. So that's my thoughts on that. Though I have, definitely I now need to work on not replacing my Instagram scrolling with scrolling on other things, 'cause I
Yes.
found that as my Instagram consumption went down, my YouTube consumption did go up,
Mhm.
which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing so long as I focus on the content of people that I actually find inspiring, as opposed to just trying to fill the void with noise.
Yes, yeah, same here,
Yes.
and YouTube is one of those things, like, it's harder to multitask with,
Yeah.
at least for, like, the length of video that I watch, it's at least, like, 10 to 15 minutes,
Mhm.
and usually the type of content I'm watching, I'm just like, "Oh, I really need to, like, watch this," like, I can't be trying to do something
Mhm.
else, So yeah, YouTube, I don't really count YouTube as social media so much. Now, if you're scrolling on the shorts, then I would
Mhm.
count that, and, like, that's something I really try not to do
Yeah.
because, again, like, I can easily waste a good hour
Mhm.
just scrolling there.
Yeah. And I've been trying to just and it trying to acknowledge when I've been using it just to fill the room with noise is
Mhm.
when I turn on the video, I'm like, okay, about 3 minutes, 4 minutes in, am I actually still watching it? Or is it just there? And
Yeah.
if that's the case, then I turn it off.
Yeah, that is such a hard thing, and, like, I struggle with this a lot when, like, I'm on my own and I just need, like, background noise.
Yes.
That's when I'll sometimes just turn on a YouTube video.
Mhm.
Just and I don't know if that's, like, because I'm alone or I'm trying to distract myself. I gotta think about that a little bit more, but I should probably be, like, kinda careful doing that, but I'm usually doing, like, something productive at like, I'm doing, like, the laundry or
Mhm.
whatever, so I'm not, like, overly concerned because it's not like I'm just sitting there doing nothing, watching video after
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. I think that the moment when I get concerned for myself is when I've watched the 3 videos of the people that I actually follow,
Mhm.
and then I just click on something related just to play something.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, "Okay, Rachel, we gotta turn this off."
Mhm. Mhm.
It's just like, we don't even know who this person is.
Yes. Now, we've kind of addressed how hard it is
Mhm.
to get off social media. There's one thing that makes it even harder, and it kind of was frustrating
Okay.
over, the past month or so because, Instagram and Facebook knew that I wasn't logging on,
Yep.
so they would send me emails and text
Mhm.
messages with updates of other people.
Oh my god, that would happen
Did
to
you
me
get that
too,
too? Did you get that?
and I've, like, turned off my notifications for Instagram, so I wouldn't get those, but I would get Facebook ones, and when I would sign into, the podcast Instagram because on my phone, I have it, like, set up that I have access to both,
Mhm.
it would look like I was getting, like, 20 plus notifications on mine, and when you would go onto it, it would literally just be like, "Oh, so and so posted a picture," or "You might know so and so, so follow them."
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's half the stuff, and that's how they get you addicted because we
Mhm.
see that notification and it's just like, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" And it's never like, "Oh, so and so commented on your content or liked your
Yeah.
content." It's just like, "So and so just posted this. Do you know this
Mhm.
person? Hey, you might like this group." Um,
Yeah.
like, it's just that kind of, like, advertising for
Mhm.
you to keep consuming content. So, yeah, I got, like, a text message from Facebook, and then I got a text message from
A text
Instagram.
message?
I know, they text
Oh
me, and
my
I'm like, "You
god.
guys have my cell phone number? This is
Rude.
disturbing." So, I did, like, that classic, like, I texted "stop" back, and,
Yeah.
that seems to have shut them off. But that was just really frustrating because, like, you know what? If so and so is doing something and they want me to know about it, they can call me. They can text me.
And if they don't really care if you know about it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
I'm on a need to know basis with a lot of people. So that was something I really had to shut off at the beginning because then I would kinda get that fear of it's just like, "Oh, no, is something happening and I don't know about it and I need to know
Mhm.
about it?" And
Mhm.
really, like, so and so posted a picture of their dog. I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." So, yeah, if anyone is thinking of going on a detox, like, definitely make sure you do turn off those notifications
Mhm.
because they'll get you, and they're trying to get you. They want you to
Yes.
come back to their platform.
Yes, and also keep in mind as well with the people who are closest to you. Say, like, I didn't have Instagram anymore and you did, Laura, and you got
Mhm.
engaged. If I found out through an Instagram post before you told me, I would be a bit confused.
Yeah, you'd be hella
So,
pissed.
yeah,
I know
so
so many people who would be so pissed if they found out I got engaged on Instagram
yes.
versus me
So,
telling them. Oh my god, I would never be able to live it down.
yes. So bear in mind that those impactful things that you want to know about with the people closest to you, they are most likely going to tell you. You're not
Yes.
missing much. You're not missing much.
Yeah, like pregnancy announcements, like I I sure hope your best friend talked to you about it maybe before she posted it on Instagram. I don't know. Maybe some friendship groups don't do that, but, like, for the people who matter, I feel like they're just gonna tell you because 'cause you're important in their life, but,
Mhm.
that's definitely going back to that fear of missing out.
Yep, it is. So,
Yeah.
it's very important to keep in mind because a lot of once you accept that, it really is just noise.
Yeah, and I think something important to do, almost for your own peace of mind and so other people understand what you're trying to accomplish, is
Mhm.
tell them that you're not going
Yes.
to be on social media and you're not gonna be checking it,
Mhm.
because then when, they do have something to say and they want you to know about it, like, then they'll reach out to you and they'll
Mhm.
be more understanding. Because I feel like there are some people, and I think this was maybe, like, more when we were in our early 20s and teenagers, where if, like,
Mhm.
someone didn't like your picture, you're like, "What is up with that?" Like, they
Yeah,
always like my
true.
pictures.
True.
I hope, like, people don't have too many friends like that, but you never know. That does cross some people's minds.
Mhm.
Um, so, yeah, be upfront and stand your ground with leaving social media. And who knows,
Yeah.
maybe a friend will wanna do it with you, and then I feel like there's very much, like, strength in numbers when it
Yeah.
comes to doing this.
Yeah. That's also super important too for, like, the people that you message back and forth with, because
Yes.
otherwise, if you go cold turkey, they're gonna be like, "What?
Yeah.
Okay."
Yeah.
So,
Like, they won't know to text you. They'll be like, "Oh, she never replied to my Instagram post. Okay, that's weird."
yeah. Yeah. So those core people that you communicate with most, it is important to tell them that you are taking a break and then they can support you as well.
Yes, then they'll know, like, "Oh, maybe I won't send this, like, to her over Instagram Messenger. I'll just call her or text her."
Mhm.
So let's look towards the future. Now, are
Yeah.
you going to be going back on any of your personal platforms in the near future?
I think that probably mid-January, I would go back on for the messaging function to
Mhm.
check messages. And otherwise, I don't think I will spend much time on it. I think that my goal is to pick it up once a day
Yeah.
if I open it back up. But that's really all. I wouldn't want to pick it up more than that. And I think I've gotten to a good point now where I would have that self-control. And
Mhm.
if I start to lose it, then we just go off of it again because now it seems easier to do than it did before.
Yeah, like, I think those first, week to 2 weeks are the most crucial
Mhm.
because once you haven't looked at it for over a week, you do kinda
Mhm.
forget about it,
Yep.
especially if you develop, like, a new habit. "Oh, when I pick up my phone, I'm gonna open up my ebook,"
Mhm.
or, read the news or, call someone, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, Pick your thing that, helps you kinda break that trigger response, and then you just
Mhm.
gradually stop doing that even, and honestly, like, I was serious when I said, like, make your cell phone boring because
Yeah.
we really don't need our technology attached to us 24/7.
No. No, we really don't. So, there's definitely some apps that I've started to clear out, and one that has, like, survived the test of time somehow is Snapchat because I don't use it
Yeah,
ever.
oh my
I'll
god, I
just
yeah, I had Snapchat on my, like, maybe a cell phone, maybe 2 cell phones
Mhm.
ago, and I feel like I was too old for Snapchat and, like, none of my friends were on it, so I never
Yeah,
caught on to Snapchat.
I know.
Um, and then I felt like everyone stopped using it, so I was just like, "Oh, okay." I've, like, sent maybe
Yeah.
1 message, so, yeah, I never fell to Snapchat. TikTok was a little bit big for me in the summertime,
Mhm.
but I never actually opened an account,
Neither did I.
and yeah, and I just noticed, like, how bad I was getting with it because, like, TikTok is probably the worst
Well, you can't see
for
how much time you're spending on it, right?
no, and, like, it's really bad when the app itself is, like, inserting those videos just like, "Hey, you've been on here a long time. Have you had
Yeah.
water? Have you looked
Yeah.
out a window?" And I'm like, "Oh god. No.
I
No, I
haven't.
haven't." Um, so that I was just like, "You know what? I'm gonna put a stop to it." And then, especially when Instagram Reels also came out, I was just like, "Ooh, okay, same pattern. I need to put a stop to this as well."
Yeah, I know how you feel. So I think the
Mhm.
Snapchat's going off because, like, I don't use it. None of my friends message me on it. Just occasionally people post stories, and I'm like, "Why do I watch them? couldn't tell
Yeah.
you. So I want to get off of that now. And I think I just need to remove the Facebook bookmark from my phone because it was kind of, it like fell into that habit rotation
Mhm.
of, you know, how you would like go like your email, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, when you would do your
Yes.
little app rotation. So I think I just need to remove that bookmark. I would still need the account just for the messenger function because I do use that.
Yes, I still use Messenger, but, like, that one's I'm pretty safe on because, like, it
Hmm.
doesn't tell me any notifications of what's actually going on
Yes.
Facebook, so I don't really feel like I don't spend time on it. It's literally just the same as my text message.
Yeah. Like Facebook truly adds no benefit to my life.
No, I
So,
haven't missed Facebook at all.
yeah. So moving forward, basically, I just want to like, I would still kind of have it around for cases where somebody messaged me and didn't know that I wasn't actively using it as much, but I would really only use it for that messenger function now. And I would only want to open it up once a day. So please hold me accountable to that because I am trying.
Alright, I will hold you
Yes.
accountable to that.
What about you?
So for me, I think I'm gonna keep the apps off my phone, and I actually got a new phone early December,
Mhm.
and I was very conscious of when I was putting, like, the apps back on this phone,
Mhm.
and I was just like, "You know what? I'm gonna keep this as simple as possible." So
Mhm.
I deleted a lot of apps to where, like, my phone just has, like, 1 page, like,
I love it.
I can't, like, scroll the multiple pages of all these different apps because I really did have, like, so many that I hadn't opened in years, and
Yeah.
I didn't even know what half of them did. So,
Mhm.
I just, really tried to pare my phone back, and that's been probably the key to my success for the past month,
Mhm.
because there's just not a lot on my phone. Like, there's my
Yeah.
banking and talking to people. That's
True.
that's about it,
That's all you
and
need,
yeah,
honestly.
like, I'm trying to make a phone, like my phone, like, the actual purpose of a phone for calling people and
Yeah.
texting people. It doesn't need to be my little computer in my pocket. I'm
Mhm.
not perfect on that by any means, but
Mhm.
that's kinda what I'm working towards, and I don't know if I'll go back on my personal Instagram, to be honest. I need to remember the login. That's the one thing,
Fair
don't remember
enough.
the login. And then I have, like, our podcast Instagram on my computer, and it has very limited capabilities, which I think helps me
Yep.
because it functions so poorly that I'm like,
True.
"I don't wanna spend time on this. I'm just gonna do our post that we need to do for an episode."
Mhm.
And then Facebook, I have honestly thought so little about Facebook, especially since I took it off, like, my bookmark bar, because, like you just said, having as the bookmark, I would just automatically click it when I clicked open my, like, email,
Mhm.
and since taking it off, I have not even gone on Facebook or, like, thought about it. So that's where I'm at right now. I think I need to get rid of the Reddit, though. The Reddit app needs to go on my phone.
Fair enough. See, I feel like we are just slowly transitioning towards being like those little old ladies that somehow still have flip phones where going on the internet for 1 second costs like 20 bucks.
Oh my god, can we bring that back? I was honestly just gonna say, like, I am one step away from getting a flip phone, and
Yeah.
if I didn't like the camera on my phone so much
Mhm.
and just, like, some of the other capabilities of having an iPhone, I would be back on my old, like, Nokia or Motorola Razr,
Yep.
because there was nothing wrong with those phones.
There
S
was really not.
Yeah, I would
There
just
was
have to
really
learn
not.
how to T9 text again, which didn't take that long.
Yeah. Yeah. I think fundamentally we're both just kind of at a space where we just want our minds to be less cluttered
Yeah, like,
by
it's
random things that don't
yeah,
need to
like,
clutter them.
it's kinda scary because, like, we sit in front of a computer for 8 hours a day to
Mhm.
work, and then we're entertained by another computer for the rest of our waking hours, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
"That's too much. It's way too much."
Yeah. By content that doesn't even really make you think unless it's YouTube, which I do find we watch good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoy my YouTube. I'm not losing my YouTube because, like, that's my television. I don't watch TV
Yeah.
otherwise. So I'm
Yeah.
keeping the YouTube.
Yes.
And, yeah, that's kinda where I'm at right now, and, I know we just did, like, our aging episode where we kinda talked about skin.
Mhm.
And, fun fact, people, there's new studies that, the blue light coming off of your computers and cell phones is aging your skin, and we should be wearing sunscreen. So,
Oh,
food for thought.
tea?
Yeah,
Tea?
yeah, there's some tea
Yeah.
for you.
See, I'm, like, pumped up for you know what? Like, I think I'm just at the point where I'm at the age where, like, when I put on a movie, I wanna watch the fricking movie and understand what happened.
Yes, yes, I'm much better now of putting on
Yeah.
a TV show or a movie and not also being on my phone.
Yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal. See, I got there with One Tree Hill.
Yeah, well, One Tree
You
Hill,
can't look
you
away.
have to pay attention, like, they don't make TV shows like that anymore.
No.
You have to
No,
watch every second to understand what's going on.
I know. Like, we watched, over the holiday, we watched season 2 of The Witcher,
Mhm.
which is just one of those shows where it's kinda like Lord of the Ringsy, where it's one of those things where you have to pay attention to everything, and I was just, like, sitting there watching, and I'm like, "This is a lot of work. My brain hasn't done this in a while."
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh my god," I'm, like, 100% turned on to the show instead of being, like, 25% on the show and 75% on my phone.
I know. What a fascinating concept.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yes.
Look at us. Growth.
Growth.
We're growing. We're
Yay,
growing.
it's beginning of 2022, and we are already growing. So yes, to our listeners, like, if you guys wanna go on a digital detox, we highly encourage it.
Yes.
I was gonna say, let us know on Instagram, but don't let us know on Instagram if you're on a digital detox. We are just proud of you, and,
Yeah.
send us good thoughts about how you're doing if you are on a detox, if that makes any sense. Um,
Tell us in a review on Apple Podcasts.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Way to save that, Rachel. I didn't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, just let us know on a review, like, you'll get to update us and it helps the show out. I think
Yeah,
it's a win-win situation.
or email us. We like email.
Oh, yes.
Write us an
We
email if
actually we actually have to put the email into the show notes for that.
okay. Well, I'm pretty sure it's just teawithlaurarachele@gmail.com.
I think so. I think so.
I'm pretty sure that's it. We'll put it
Alright.
in the show notes, friends.
Yes. Okay, I think we need to wrap this up.
All right. Well, listeners, we love you and live like tea.
Live like tea.